What's going on, everybody? It's your man Tuck from BOREDinDE. Today, I got my homeboy, Mr. Leonard Young from Delaware Black and the National Black
Yep,
Guy.com. Okay,
correct.
okay. So, man, go ahead. Tell us a little bit what's going on with you, man.
Yep. Of course, Leonard with DelawareBlack.com. And for those who don't know, started DelawareBlack.com actually about, it was about 13 years ago now. And, really started it because after college, I moved around a little bit and came back to Delaware where I'm from. And, everywhere had some type of black outlet, whether it was magazine, radio, newspaper. And, came back to Delaware, kind of like Board and DE. It's kind of like, well, what is there to do? And, I think the thing is there's a lot of people doing stuff, but we just don't always hear about it.
Right.
So, that was the whole purpose of the website. Through the website, of course, we had some of our Delaware Black Awards. We had Delaware Black Expos. We had a lot of networking events, a lot of partnerships. So, really just trying to bring some exposure to Delaware and the people here doing great things like yourself and, a million other people who just don't get the credit that, they deserve.
Yeah. Cause when I met you, it was early on, the early stages of Delaware Black.
Right.
Like we used to run into each other at those college events and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But I love what you're doing with Delaware
Appreciate
Black. And I actually just peeped out the nationalblackguy.com, and I was like, wow, that's what's up. Because I know for a while you had Delaware Black, you had Atlanta Black, and
Yeah, so we had like Atlanta. So when we spun off Delaware, we had New York, Philly, Baltimore, DC, and Atlanta.
hmm
And then from there, it was just one of the things where it's like, okay, like I'm not getting no younger. I had all these domain names held up like Denver Black, Indianapolis Black, and I was like, you know what? Let me just start throwing up these websites, and we'll just see what happens. Like one of them got a hit,
hmm
so just trying to go off that model, and of course, we got to the point where we had so many websites up, we couldn't even keep the content up on it.
oh
So
wow,
yeah, so I mean, that's like, so right now I'm kind of frozen where I'm at. I'm like, okay, let me develop these websites before I just start, putting up more. But same concept, different cities. We've been able to meet a lot of people, interact with a lot of great people, and just trying to like build a legacy.
now you got help with all this, right?
Yes and no. So, luckily through Christina Culture Arts Center, every year they provide an intern, and the intern will help do a lot of updating. I have a lot of volunteers, and then, just a lot of stuff is automated. So, there's some stuff where people think like I'm on the computer all day.
hmm
I just have a program, I'll plug a lot of stuff in. It'll post throughout the day.
Okay,
And,
like a RSS feed.
yeah, so
something
like
that.
we'll have the RSS feeds. I have a management tool kind of like Buffer, where it just
Okay.
kind of set it and repeat it. And then I have a couple people who just write articles on the different sites, and
They
you know,
get siphoned out to all the sites
right.
and everything like that. Oh yeah, that's what's up, man. I ain't know all that. 'Cause I thought you had this large team
Oh no,
of
I
people.
wish.
I'm like, yeah, Leonard must be employing like 30 people now.
Yeah, it's funny because like I'll be at home and my boxers like just trying to like update content, and I mean it's one of the things where it's as much work as you make it. So like at first, like I used to want new articles up every day on every website, and now I'm like, you know what? I'll just put a couple articles up a week, and so like the biggest thing with the websites is not only are we looking to bring traffic, but we want to kind of push it to like our social media and vice versa, because one of the things now is people aren't going to websites as much.
Right.
It's like, so I mean, even myself, when I want to look at the news, I'll get on Instagram, I look at the Shade Room, I look at Hollywood Online, and that's where we're getting our news now.
Right.
So I think the websites are still valuable, but social media is just taking over now.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like you gotta do little clips now.
Yeah.
Like you do a clip on Instagram to get them to go to your Instagram story, and then once they're in your Instagram story, they want to know more. Then you can link it to your website.
Right.
So it's like the website's like the last stop.
Exactly.
But most people is gonna hit up your Instagram. They're gonna hit up Facebook. They're gonna hit up
Right.
Twitter before they go to your website and
Yeah.
stuff. Because I really was thinking, like, I was like, Leonard must got a lot of people working for him. Like he's all over the place and
Yeah.
everything. Now, one question I definitely wanted to get to you with is, are the Delaware Black Awards ever coming back?
It's funny you said. So we actually talked about, me and I think Portia Hargrove.
Yes.
So, publicist. So we talked about doing it this year. So hopefully, we'll be looking to kick that off in November. Just trying to find the right setup because like every year something goes wrong behind the scenes. Sometimes it's noticeable, but the biggest thing is, I think where a lot of people kind of get the awards mixed up, and even I didn't exactly know how to proceed. Was okay? Is it a popularity thing or is it a credential thing?
Right.
That was one, and then two was, so especially with social media now, like it's really weird because let's say you have 80 million followers on social media. You send out one post and you kind of
drown out everybody else.
Yeah, like you stack the ballots all in your favor. So that's the only thing that makes it difficult. So we're trying to think, okay, like should we have some type of Facebook login where it has to be an actual person? Should we do something where like every vote, every slate of votes is like $1?
Right.
Just something to try to legitimize it. So I mean, that's the only thing we're kind of having a hard time with. But what we thought about was, since we have all these websites, maybe not doing Delaware and just doing national. Because I mean, that'd probably be a little easier to manage. We wouldn't have to worry about 1 million people in California voting for that one person in Delaware.
Right.
So I mean, we're definitely going to bring it back in some capacity. It may or may not be Delaware. But we're gonna see how we can make it work.
Yeah, because the National Black Awards does have a nice ring to it.
Yeah, no, it does.
It got a real nice ring.
Like I always think about Steve Harvey. All the sponsors he got.
Right.
And I mean, of course, they didn't like the hoodie awards, so he changed it to the neighborhood awards. But I don't even think he does that anymore. I think I haven't heard about it for a couple of years. So
yeah, he might have let that pass on, because he had a lot on his plate. But now that his plate's getting a little empty, now he may revisit it or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I really did like the awards, but it did come off as a popularity contest. And I'm not saying that because I lost a couple times.
Right.
But it was still good to see everybody together.
Right.
Like, even though I didn't, I was never a winner. I was always nominated. I did enjoy, being, with other working professionals and stuff like that. So the camaraderie was good. It was that was a positive item and stuff like that.
I agree. I think one of my favorite things was, I always loved it when people who I did not know won awards, because that, to me, that legitimized it. Like, okay, you never even heard of Delaware Black before I contacted you. We don't know each other. You never advertised, and you won an award. So it like your testimony is really about the awards.
Right.
So,
but now, you said you were born here, right? And then you went to college.
So I mean, I was born in Chicago, but I was here like within that first month.
Okay, so you are a Delawarean, so to speak, and everything. Now, about the culture of Delaware, like, what you doing, the Delaware Black Awards, and then you got the website to try to help local businesses and entrepreneurs get their, their business and everything out. How do you think, let me change that. What do you think we as Delawareans can do to better support one another? Because one of the things that I always say when I'm speaking to somebody here is that, Delaware is definitely a cliquish state.
Right.
And it's kind of like, if you don't run in the same circle as somebody, they don't even give you or your brand a chance, because they're so busy comparing you to who's in their circle that does something similar and everything. What do you think we can do to get past that?
So, I mean, I think it's kind of hard because, even though we may not consider, I kind of feel like everywhere you go is that way. So it's like, recently when I was living in Philly and meeting a couple people over there, they were kind of saying the same things. But the thing in Philly was like, okay, in Delaware, we got one circle. In Philly, they may have 8 circles.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, I think it's still the same thing where, I always kind of figured out like, okay, and I know it sounds crazy, but like, if you can't find your clique, you almost have to make your clique, you know? So like, I know, one of the things I always think about, there was a post that came out a while ago, and I'll just preface it, but a lot of times people always think that you got to network with, the people who are making the $1 million and who are doing this and this. And I think it was Issa Rae, and she came out with the post, and her post was something like, you know, I'd rather network with the people around me who are hustling and doing all that, because when we come up, we all come up together.
Right.
You know, more than likely, and this is my experience too, because I think we all come in times of need. There was periods where I needed employment. You know, I needed sponsorship. And would you believe the people who have the money, the connections, the fame, like, you know, like they don't got time, you know? And I mean, not saying all of them, but it's like, I feel like the people who you know, see every day. And I mean, like I can name a gang of people who aren't millionaires, but I know that they have my back. I got their back, where some of the people who you think would be more apt to help you just can't, won't, don't have time. You know,
I have definitely experienced that as well. Like the ones that you know that could just drop a name and get you where you need to be don't have time for it. But the people that's struggling and working just like you, they're the ones that, you know, they'll look out and stuff. It's like, you know, you help each other climb up and everything. So I definitely experienced that. And we talk to a lot of artists and creatives here at BOREDinDE. And one thing that we all are witnessing is that there's a positive emergence coming out of the city. You know, we were known for, you know, the murder per capita and stuff like that, unfortunately, but a lot of people are starting to realize that Delaware has a lot to offer as far as the arts and creatives and stuff. Our music scene is exploding. Like, you know, we have musicians from all walks of life that have worked on a national level with, you know, worldwide known artists and stuff like that. They're in our backyard. They hanging shot right with the rest of us when they're not working.
Right.
Do you find yourself coming across a lot of those people?
As far as the artists, the
just people that are making a lane, but they're behind the scenes.
Yeah, definitely. And I can say I've been a little out the loop the last year. But, you know, I mean, kind of like you said, like there's a gang of people in Delaware, and it kind of like we talked about, you know, people getting visibility, notoriety. There's a gang of people in Delaware doing stuff on a national scale, and they're very humble about it. You know, like it's not one of the things where it's like, okay, I work with so-and-so, and I got to brag it all over Facebook every single day.
Right.
You know, like there's a lot of people who just go out and grind, and, you know, hard workers come from Delaware just like they come from anywhere else. So, you know, if you get the right hookup, the right name drop. So, you know, I definitely think so. And I would probably even say there's probably twice as many people than for everyone we know about, there's probably someone who we don't know about who's doing big things just because, you know, they're not all on social media, you know, name dropping every single minute or, you know.
Right. And isn't it crazy that when you started Delaware Black 13 years ago, your biggest social media might have been Black Planet or MySpace?
Nah, so I think when I started, like, I didn't get on Facebook. It wasn't even Facebook. Actually, I don't know if it was anything. I mean, like, I know they were around. Oh, I'm sorry, I did have a MySpace page. Okay. Cause I did connect with a lot of people through there, but I mean, just how things have changed. So, you know, some of our Instagram pages do much better than the websites.
Oh, really?
Yeah, generating money.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But then you did mention that the websites aren't immediately visited.
Yeah, I mean, so you want me to tell you why people visit the websites?
Why?
They usually visit, well, a majority. For what I see, at least via social media, when we have articles on people, people like to share articles on themselves.
Okay.
You know, so that's where most of the people come to the website. So, like, we even changed our structure. Like, we used to do articles on a lot of different things. Now, and this is something we're going to try to do for Delaware more in 2020, we're going to focus on people's stories because that's what people want to see. Like, people not really, I mean, they'll come to look at events, and, I mean, they definitely come for Black businesses because when you Google, we come up. But what people share on social media are, like, features about themselves. Like, even like, so one of our pages, National Black Guy, we have just about 150,000 followers. Okay. And, like, so we have a lot of people who will pay for us to post their content. And what I notice is, like, when people post flyers, you know, like, flyers is almost like watching a commercial on TV. Like, people flip the channel during commercials. But if, I guarantee you, Tucker, if we were doing a meme for you and it said, Delaware photographer creates fantastic art and like there were a couple pictures, I guarantee it'd be like 1 to 4,000 likes on that picture.
Oh wow.
You know, so now I think a lot of people are realizing just the way you word your caption on the picture, like not the description, is all that matters.
Yeah, I'm seeing that a lot with my Instagram and YouTube and stuff, like certain verbiage you have to use and everything. And one thing that I do like that you do is that you understand with all the social media and everything like that, email is still king. And I love how you have your mailing list, because I still get it, and I definitely have opened it up and seen, oh, okay, this is going on, or oh, somebody does this, and follow through with it.
Right.
More so than I probably would have if I was going through my timeline and everything. And your mailing list is pretty huge, bro.
Yeah, so I mean, we definitely keep it, but I mean, I'll say it's not growing like it used to grow. Like we should grow by a certain level. So now it's definitely a slow grow. To be honest, like I just feel like social media kind of takes over, but we still do it because kind of like you, like we know a lot of people look at our email, and a lot of times when I meet people I don't know, they'll be like, oh, Delaware Black, that sounds familiar. I think I get your email. So like I know people are still looking at it, and you know we look to keep on growing it.
Yeah, because I know when I started this site, I started a mailing list, and it's growing, but I also noticed that I have to go a little extra with the call to action,
Right.
to get them to go to it and everything, and I have to offer them something a little different than they would get on my social media,
Right.
and everything.
So what do you offer them?
Well, actually, I do more video engagements, and I do more sidebar comments on it and everything like that. Cause like Instagram is cool. Me, I'm old school. I love Twitter.
Okay.
I spend more time on Twitter
And see,
than
like,
Instagram.
I don't get Twitter. I mean, I get it, but I don't get it.
I think I'm loyal to Twitter because the timeline is not as skewed as it is on Facebook and Instagram. Okay. Like if I see something in Twitter, yeah, it's probably going on now. I have seen stuff in Instagram be like, oh yeah, I want to check that out, but it was a week ago.
Right.
So, you know.
Or it'll be like, congratulate Tina Turner like on 50 years, and then you Google and like that thing was 3 years old. Or,
right.
Yeah. So
right.
I agree. You know, it's funny, like Twitter, I just never. And, you know, I think like a year ago, I tried to go back to it, and it was too much information. I was like, I don't know where to start. Wasn't nobody like, you know, I almost felt like a little kid. Like nobody was liking my post. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, because it's easy to get lost in the sauce, you know?
It is.
And now that we got 280 characters when it was like 140 at one time. Yeah, it's definitely a difference. But I know that while we was talking off camera that you're recently married,
right,
and everything. How's that working out for you?
I mean, you know, best of times.
I mean, cause like when you got married, I was like, oh, I wonder if he's gonna have time for everything. Like, but like to me, the way I look at you, man, you're like the king of time management.
No, I'm probably the worst person, you know. But you know, like, so I'm definitely a last minute person. But you know how sometimes like you wait till the last minute and like you just manage to get it done. So I mean, unfortunately, I've probably been like that since college. But you know, just one of the things where like, you know, like I get stuff done. You know, it might be right at the deadline, but you know, I get it done. And you know, thankfully, my wife is an entrepreneur too. You know, so she does a lot of like digital strategy and all that stuff. So, you know, she kind of understands like, okay, you know, sometimes you got to get up early, 4 or 5 in the morning, or sometimes you're staying up late, or on the weekends you're working, or kind of like when you want that quality time, you just know, okay, it's about to be co-working, you know, so, you know, so, you know, that kind of affords me to kind of, you know, keep on working. But time management is something that I definitely want to work on because, you know, I think even just being an entrepreneur, and I'm sure you're the same way, being a creative, you know, probably every day you'll see stuff and be like, oh, like I want to do that, or, you know, I want to try that. So for me, and one of the things, like a lot of times I'll see stuff and then I'll just keep on adding on like more businesses. And then I'll be like, okay, like now, like I wake up in the morning, instead of like focusing on Delaware Black, now I got 18 websites. Okay, now I got like 4 other projects on the side, and you're like, okay, like maybe I should have just stuck with that one. But, you know, at the end of the day, you only live once, so.
You're right, because I definitely do find myself, I spend more time with my phone jotting down notes. I've gotten better documenting something, whether it's I type it in or I use the voice recorder or something like that. But I try to find a humble balance. Like I said, I'm sitting here like in awe because you said you're not good with time management, but from outside looking in, I'm like, yo, you fucking incredible.
Yeah, horrible. I mean, but it's just one of the things where it's like I'll get it done, and sometimes my best work is at the last minute,
Now, when you was doing the award show, I know you had some moments there where you just looked up in the air and be like, yo, I'm never going to do this again.
Right.
because I know the first one, that was all you, wasn't it?
So which one is the first one?
I was talking about the one, what was that, 2016?
So the first one was in, I think 08 or 09.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe 10.
Okay. And you had a lot of help with that, or that was all you?
So the very first one, we did it. So we had partnered with Christina Cultural Arts Center. We were going to do it there. Mm-hmm. And I swear, it wasn't until you know how Delaware is, mm-hmm. maybe 2 days out, I was thinking about canceling it. Mm-hmm. And then all the tickets just started coming in. And we had so many people that bought tickets that we had to move it to the Grand Opera House. So we were in the Baby Grand. And we were so new. I don't know if you remember Andrea Brown Clark. She was an event planner.
Okay.
So she was the one who, I kind of had the concept and she kind of put everything together. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you know me, I'm a behind the scenes person.
Right.
Because we were so short staffed, I was on stage helping present the awards. So, I mean, I wasn't doing a lot of commentary, mm-hmm. but, I was up there. And she was the presenter. So... Okay. It was kind of both of us standing on stage. The very next year, that's kind of when we went to Delaware Theater Company. And then we were there for the next 3 years. And then we had a 2-year break. And then in 16, we were at the World Cafe Live. But
right.
yeah, I mean, definitely a lot of crazy situations, a lot of hurt feelings. A lot of people who didn't speak to me afterwards. Maybe 2 or 3 rounds of groups getting up and leaving. Right when an award was called and they didn't win.
Right. But it's all about being humble. Because like I said, I was nominated a couple times and I didn't come home with anything. But just seeing your peers, and yourself being rewarded for what you do. And just having just the great, just being there with everybody.
Right.
That was worth the price of admission to me.
Yeah, I agree. One of the things I like too, and we thought about that. So it's okay, we're recognizing these people, even the people who are not the winners. We still want to really recognize them. So early on, I can't remember if it was the first year, but definitely the second year, when people would go through the nominees, mm-hmm. We wanted to list their website or their social media because it's okay, if I'm looking for a black photographer. Okay, I may know Tucker, mm-hmm. But no offense, mm-hmm. but I may know Tucker, but okay, maybe I want to see who these Tucker's not available, mm-hmm. he's always booked up. Mm-hmm. I want to know who these other photographers are. Okay, good. They put their website, they put mm-hmm. their Instagram. I can look at their stuff. Because, I mean, there were some people who said they got business, they weren't winners, mm-hmm. but during the whole nomination and voting process, people contacted them. Mm-hmm. I remember Tracy A. And I think she won, but even before that, she said that, and I don't know what her capacity was for her daycare, but she said a lot of people contacted her for daycare services, mm-hmm. and she didn't have room. So things like that make you feel good because, I mean, granted, we want to recognize and congratulate the people who are the winners, mm-hmm. but we really want to appreciate everybody who's listed.
Yeah, because I know I got a lot of business from being nominated on Delaware Black, just simply when you start putting the URLs out. Right. Because people get curious. They'd be like, well, this person won, but who lost?
Right.
And some people get curious. And there was some clients I picked up that was like, yo, you should have won that because your work is fucking incredible. Right. And it's like, yeah, man, it is what it is. Well, I'm glad you cut the check, though.
Right, exactly.
So that's all I was, hey, as long as my business gets out there, right. And I just looked at that. It was free publicity because my name got splattered mm-hmm. on anything that Delaware Black was talking about, the awards, on all the promotional material. So, who can be upset? Yeah. Yes, it would have been nice to have something to put on the mantle, but hey, man, it wasn't my time.
Right.
That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
But,
so I mean, even if we were to do it again, like that's really one thing I want to focus on is like, okay, how can we get the most attention to those nominees? So, you know, like we try not to make it a selfish act. Like it's not about me. And, you know, even me, like there's some categories I think I should have been in to win too. But, you know, of course. And, you know, like I even restricted people who I was real close to because, you know, some stuff just looks crazy. It's like the event planner, like I was talking about, she wanted to be in one of the categories. And I was like, that just look crazy if you're going to be in the category and let's say you should win.
Right.
You know, so.
It definitely look a little suspect.
Right.
I know that had to be hard though, man.
I mean, it wasn't hard for me. Like, it was an easy. Nah, like we can't do that.
So 2020, I suspect is going to be a big year for you guys.
Huge.
And you talked about narrowing down the sites and possibly doing.
I ain't talking about that.
Oh, you're not.
Well,
gonna...
I'm not going to expand anymore. Well, I'm not going to narrow them down.
Oh, so you're going to keep them all active, but you're just not looking to pick up like Texas Black or nothing like that. Or do you already have Texas Black?
Yeah, so we got Houston, Dallas. Yeah, so 2020 we have a couple things. So one, I really want to develop those websites. So one of the things that I did before and I just wasn't successful at, but I want to try again is like we're looking for writers for those sites. And you know, we got a lot, but you know, so I'm going to revisit that because the more content we have on the websites, just the more traffic, you know, the better it is. So that's one thing. And then we have a couple other projects. So me, I think you probably know Sherelle Hogan's.
Yes.
Diamond and the guy named Dave Coker. I don't know if you know Dave Coker.
The name sounds familiar.
Yeah, so the three of us, we actually have a platform where we're coming out with a streaming app, kind of similar to Netflix. So hopefully that'll be dropping early 2020. The whole goal is to be able to... well, really, we're just gonna call it the Black Netflix. But it's called BMM now. Black Movies Matter Now, and really just the same concept. Like we want to highlight producers of color who have content, movies, documentaries, series, films, you know, all that stuff. So we're excited about that. Other than that, you know, probably just still with the digital marketing, doing some websites. You want me to tell you what I got into recently that I know is money, but I'm just trying to get it there.
What's that?
Mobile app games.
Yeah.
You know, like I was listening to this YouTube video and they're talking about buying and selling software, and they mentioned this website and they're talking about mobile games. So I went on there and listen to how good this deal sounds. So I went on there, I bought 10 mobile games for $250. They're on the App Store. Well, they're on the Android store. They're on Google Play right now. Now some of them have, you know, they have 0 to like 100 followers. But I always think about Candy Crush. Like I was reading an article and they said Candy Crush makes like $10 million a month on ads, and I was like, Jesus,
wow.
I know. Now, granted, they probably have like 10 million. You know, subscribers. So I mean, mobile games is something I want to get into, and even if I can help other people get their mobile games, I just need to find out how to monetize it. So
yeah, because all that's changing, and you can definitely expect that what's going on over at YouTube with Copa, you're gonna have to be on point with that,
right?
Because I get a lot of people emailing me because you know they figure I'm a technophobe, I know about all this and stuff, so they like ask me like, how's Copa going to affect us on YouTube? And I'm like, well, either you're going to have child-friendly stuff and not get paid, or you're going to have stuff that's not for kids and get paid. I mean, I can't put it any more simpler than that. But I wish you the best of luck on that, man, because, dog, you know, I've been a fan and admirer of your work since the time we met. Like, you know, I'm still reeling back that I'm like, yo, he's not, you know, he's not as focused and organized. I'm like, I thought you were just like...
Nah, definitely not.
I'm sitting there like, yo, because I'm starting to sit here and think like, well, damn, maybe I'm the more organized one.
I mean, well, you know, like, so I have a podcast too. I haven't done it for darn near so many months, I forget. But, you know, I always meant to send out that welcome email. And so, like, as soon as I sent you my email address, I saw that email come through. I was like, okay, he's on point. But yeah, so I mean, but you know, I think with everything, even with the time management, it's definitely a give and take. Like I wish I was more organized because probably have more free time, but you know, that's definitely one of the goals for 2022.
Yeah, I definitely gonna sit back and wait to hear from what you got going on and everything like that. And like I said, Delaware Black is it's definitely my go-to when I'm looking for businesses, whether I'm looking for like a caterer or somebody that designs logos or something like that. I try to go there first.
Okay.
To
Awesome.
try to give to somebody,
Right.
give to somebody that's from my own backyard before I run to like Fiverr or anything like that and stuff.
Gotcha.
And I met some really cool people through your events
Yeah.
and everything. So
I met some cool people through the events too. Now I will say one thing super quick. Next year we do have a promotion where we're looking to get 10,000 Black businesses signed up via all of our websites. So we actually have a mobile app for our National Black Guide, which include all our city websites. So via that, we're looking to get 10,000 Black businesses signed up. They can sign up for free. So that is one of the promotions we're gonna kick off at the beginning of the year as well.
Okay, I'm gonna keep my eye out for that. Definitely want to throw my name in the hat on that.
Yeah. So well, I mean, people can register on their business for free now.
Okay.
But that's when we're really gonna try to put some national attention to it.
Okay. Damn, Mr. Young, I don't know how you do it, man. It's only 24 hours in a day.
I know. I'm tired right now.
Well, like I said, I wasn't gonna keep you. I just wanted to, just bust it up with you real quick and
Appreciate
everything.
it.
Cause like I said, I've been a fan of Delaware Black and definitely been, watching your movements and stuff and learning a little bit from the outside, looking in and like maybe I can incorporate something like that and everything.
Right.
Because like I said, it's because of the Delaware Black mailing list that I work so hard on building mine and everything, and I'm learning more about it. It's very hard not to get frustrated and walk away.
Yeah. Well, and this is what I do. Like sometimes I don't look at the stats. So like I know some people that what's your ROI and what's your open rate and what's this like, and I feel like that's just too much because a lot of people don't understand it anyway. So like I know industry standard for email open rates within the first 24 hours is like 20%. But if you paid $100 to $200 to advertise in the thing, and I say okay, only 20% of the people opened it, you're gonna feel a certain way.
You're gonna be like, oh, that's it.
Yeah. So
even though those numbers still may be good as far as industry standard.
Yeah, and you have to think, okay, that's the first 24 hours. Like after now, of course, less and less people after that, but like I don't know, like I just don't like talking the stats. It's more like okay, like this how many people have it. This is a potential.
Now, about your kids, man, how did your kids feel about you being so active in social media? Period, because I know my daughter, she kind of freaks out. She's like 19, and she's like she doesn't understand that I know as much, if not more, than she does.
Yeah, so I mean, luckily my kids are young, so they can't technically have a social media account. They're 9 and 11.
Okay.
So I mean, they're still young. So I mean, they know what Instagram is, even though they don't have an account, and they know what Facebook is and all that. So I mean, they definitely want accounts, but Instagram's kind of crazy because like you can go on and see a lot of the kids that you shouldn't be seeing. So Instagram may not be the first thing they get. Maybe a Facebook because that's more controllable.
And they say Facebook is for us. Like once you get 40, it's for us.
Right.
That's what they say. So yeah, you can have it. It's a little bit safe.
But like the kids now want all them like TikTok. I don't know what that is, and I never researched it. And
Snapchat, all that.
Snapchat, Musically, some of those other things. So
yeah, it's definitely quite the adventure raising a kid up in the digital media age. Definitely. And especially being somebody that you utilize it for, work yourself. It's like, wow. It's why don't you just ride a bike?
Play outside.
Hell. I would love to be able to tell my daughter, like, get in the shower. You smell like outside, instead of like, get off the phone.
Right.
Stuff. But Leonard, man, I appreciate you coming through, man.
No problem.
And I hope you relaunch your podcast and everything.
I definitely would. You might have to be one of my first guests on there so I can warm it up, get ready for 2020.
Oh, man, I'll definitely do that and everything. Because like I said, I took a year off from this to get it right. But one thing I know that we learn as going out to business is that sometimes you just got to jump in and do it.
Oh, you do.
Because if you try to wait for the perfect moment and the perfect time, it'll never come.
Right.
It never come. And I look at some of my old stuff and like, I cringe, but I'm glad I did it because it got me to this point.
Right.
And which I'm quite sure you had that with Delaware Black when you first put it up. It probably wasn't like you envisioned because, you know, sometimes our vision and budget, they're not on the same level. But now to see where you're at now, man, I know it's got to been quite the journey.
You know, it's funny, like when I put it up, it was like just what I wanted. But the thing was, other people just weren't, like I remember Hope designed my logo, like when I started out. And
Hope Rose?
Yeah, Hope Rose. Like, well, she did the first logo.
Okay.
And I was too shy to go business to business. So Hope darn near walked me business to business, and we like did some sales. Like we started, in fact, we started right over here. Like you remember D Reed had his shop right over, like his image and like that. I think it was like Red Fried Chicken or something. But I mean, I definitely agree. It's like nothing's ever going to be perfect, and like sometimes when I think about it, it's almost like, okay, if I start today, I can be horrible, right? If I start 6 months from now, I done worked that horribleness up, or I left that horribleness in the past, where if I start 6 months from now, it's like, okay, that's when horrible starts. So like, let me hurry up and get horrible over so I can like, you know, roll.
And that's the best advice you can actually say to somebody. Like, man, just go ahead and just do it. Because even when I was taking pictures, I thought, you know, I didn't have all the fancy equipment and everything like that. So I just had to get out there and keep shooting, and you learn from your mistakes, and you know, you find yourself like, oh, I really didn't need all that stuff. It's just, it's nice to have, but I don't need it and everything.
I was say, especially nowadays, like I'll tell you, it's funny. I had like a camcorder, because you know, like when I first started, I used to go places and do videos and edit. You talk about time consuming. I didn't like that. And there was a guy from Baltimore, and he has like a black website too. And he came up, and I was talking to him. And he was doing everything on this little camera. Like I had this, you know, this bigger one, and I was like, you know what? And kind of like you said, it's like the stuff we think we need, like we don't really need. Maybe in print it's different, but on the website, most people can't tell the difference between, you know, picture quality.
Nah.
So, you know, now it's like, okay, I'll do it. Well, now everybody do everything on the phones anyway. But yeah. So like, forget the equipment.
I think when I got over my equipment fear was when I was on YouTube and I was going through some videos and seeing this skateboarding video that had like these Hollywood type style edits and cuts, this and that. And the guy's like, yeah, I did this on my iPhone, you know, 7 or 8 or whatever at the time, because it was a couple years ago. I was like, you did all that on the damn phone?
Right.
But yet I'm looking to rent these big cameras with the lens and, you know, battery packs and stuff like that. And I'm like, wow, if they can do that with that, it's nothing you can do. And
I definitely agree.
And we live in some great times right now.
We do. Technology be your best friend or your worst enemy.
Yeah, man, because you could do a lot of things with your phone from home and generate some income.
Yeah, it's like even like I just think about the Instagram stuff. Like, it's funny. Like, I always heard of people like making money with Instagram, and I was like, okay, like how does that work? You know, like I want to make money too. And so with our National Black Guide account, so we got time.
Yeah, we got time.
So at the end, so we're 19, 18. So the end of 2017. I had like 6,000 followers on our National Black Guide account, and I was listening to videos. There's a black travel page called Travel Noir. I'm not sure if you heard of it, but they're real popular. Had a lot of followers, and the girl said how they grew their account, and it was like 2 or 3 of them. She said that they posted 13 times a day, and I was like, damn, that's a lot of damn posting.
Right.
And, you know, I kind of looked at my numbers, and at the end of the year, I was like, you know what? By the end of 2018, I want to be to 100,000 followers. And, you know, you say them big goals, and you're like, okay, like, I don't know if I'm going to get it, but this is what I'm going to say at the beginning. And I kind of did the math on, I'm like, okay, if I want 100,000 followers, I need so-and-so followers per month. And, you know, however I broke it down, I was like, you know what? I'm going to post 9 times a day. And Tucker, like, I kid you not, in 2018, probably at least 340 of those days, I posted 9 times a day. Like I had a schedule. I posted at 7, 9, 11, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 11.
That's a lot of content, bro.
Yeah, some of it was scheduling. But you know what I tell you, like the funny thing for National Black Guide, I don't even have any original content. I just repost the popular stuff. Like I'll look for some things that just have like a lot of comments or a lot of views, and then I'll repost it. You know, I may put my own little wording at the top. But while in 2018, I kid you not, our page was growing at like 10,000 people, 10,000 followers a month.
Oh, wow.
Until we got to like October, and then I don't know if I got shadow banned. I was going at like 2, 3 people a month. But you know, it's just one of those things. You know, I think just being consistent. And as we were growing, people were like, "Oh, do y'all do promo?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And they're like, "How much?" And I was like, $10. It's like, okay. And then people were coming back, and then you know, then we kind of set up a pricing structure. And now, I mean, we probably, you know, we can make anywhere between $50 to maybe $200 a day, you know, just promoting people Instagram.
Yeah, because I mean, if those influencers can do it, I mean, hell, that's what you're looking to become,
Right? Exactly.
And everything. And it's crazy how when you really look at like the science behind it, be like, wow, it's just being consistent and giving people a reason to follow and read your content,
right?
And everything, which is, you know, what we hope to do here with BOREDinDE, because I know when we relaunch the podcast, we release a new episode every Thursday. And like the original formula was to record it live and do it, but you know, being an interviewer and switcher and all that stuff like that got a little hectic.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And after I took some time off, I was like, you know what, I might as well just record a couple episodes and then just start letting them out slowly like that. And I see my follower count starting to go up because people, you know, they know next Thursday I'm getting somebody new and everything. And like I said, it's just one big learning experience and everything.
Yeah, I agree. But and kind of like what you said, like I think consistency is key.
Yes.
Like, you know, like I think about some of the stuff I did, and just kind of like you said, like if you have your podcast and it comes out every Thursday, like it's gonna start growing, you know. And as long as you're consistent, like even with the emails, there's sometimes when like, sometimes I might not even have an advertiser in that email, and it's like, okay, like should I do it? Should I not? Sometimes I don't. Like I'm not gonna lie, but most of the time, even if I don't have like a paid advertiser, I'll still put it out there.
Okay.
You know,
just because people are expecting it.
Yeah, people expect it, and then it's like, okay. So the other thing I notice is like sometimes when people see the email, they'll remember that they want to advertise in it. You know, so kind of like, okay, if I don't do anything, then I know might not be no money this week for, you know, coming through DelawareBlack.com.
Okay. And do you offer any advertising on the Delaware Black Instagram?
Yeah. So actually, we have like a joint package. So we have like 22 different Instagram accounts. So a post, we charge $15 for a post, and it was just easier to set a consistent price. So even though National Black Guy has like 150,000, Delaware Black may have 10, Miami may have 3. It's just 15 across because it's just easy that way. Like,
okay.
And then we have like a multi-city package where they can do all our cities for like $150. And at first I was like, nobody's gonna sign up for the $150.
But bro, those are some real reasonable rates.
Yeah, and I was wrong. Like we have a lot, and so like the only thing that's kind of weird now is like, you know, Instagram's been doing a lot of crackdown. So I've been just very selective. So like I don't promote that we do promos like I used to, because I saw a lot of black promo pages get shut down, and I'm not sure why, but it's like, you know, this right here is a good money maker, so I don't want us to get shut down. So a lot of people will like DM me, you know, about advertising, and then I'll do it. But I mean, definitely something where, you know, I wouldn't have thought to be able to make money that way. That's for sure. You know, I also got into, and that kind of led me into someone approaching me about doing like T-shirts, print on demand. So I've been doing that, and like I'm like, man, like I should have got into this years ago. So I mean, kind of like you said, like there's just so many opportunities to make money, literally. And it sounds funny because like you always think of the gurus talking about, okay, you can make money through your phone, but I mean, I'll definitely say like there's a lot of ways you can make money through your phone.
It definitely is. It definitely is. Because, I'm even finding out now that when I drop this podcast, I get people asking me like, well, yo, how are you recording this? Because your audio's on point, this, and this. And at first, I was just giving up the information. Right. But then my lady's like, you need to put it into something that they can pay you for. Right. Because you took hours to learn how to do this through trial and error. Why are you just going to give it away? So I've been working on like a downloadable content from the site that, if you want to know what kind of equipment I use and the editors, and refer you to some editors that might be free within your budget and stuff like that. So, offering, those digital packages, that's definitely coming in handy as well.
Definitely.
And like you said, Instagram it's definitely capable of money making. Now, as far as some of those sites getting shut down from promos, I think it's with the topic they were promoting, because I see people advertising promos on there all day, and Instagram does know that people utilize it to make money. I think you just have to probably read, their service agreement or whatever to see where it lies and stuff like that. But I know the rates you charging. I'm, after we shut these mics off, I'm be like, all right, let me put something together myself and everything.
Yeah. So and I mean, it's funny. Like, I think our rates are low, but I've seen some pages that's similar. They charge like $50 a post, and I mean, I'm not all about the money like that, but sometimes it's hard to look at it. Like when your funds is tight, and like you see the same ad someone put on your page, and it's on their page. There's one girl who I approached about doing ad, and she was like $99. And I was like, Jesus. But I mean, it's one of the things where some people can get it, and even with the post too, it's like there's no guarantees. So like there's sometimes people will pay $15, and I think it's a great post, and like it won't do squat. And vice versa, sometimes it would be a post, and I was like, okay, like I don't even want to post this. Like this gonna bring our numbers down, and it just blow up. Comments, people sharing it, all that.
Yeah, it's a thin line between corporate and ratchet.
Right.
They're very thin line. But yeah, man. Again, thank you for coming out, bro. I know you got tons of things going on. Sorry you got lost on your way here in this dark behind complex and stuff. But man, definitely have you back again, and everything like that. And when you get your stuff started, man,
definitely. I'm
definitely
glad
let me
to
know.
hit up. So ours is via Fran Shine. I'm glad to hit her up and make sure
Fran Shine? Okay. Okay.
I'm glad to pay my past balance and get everything set up.
Yeah. And anything I could do to help, bro, I'm here for you, man.
All right, and vice versa.
All right, well, people, I have Mr. Leonard Young here, and before we go, tell them everywhere they can find you on social media.
Yeah, so the best places you can check us out are on Instagram, National Black Guide, myself, Leonard J. Young. And really, I mean, from there, that's probably the best place.
Like, you can go to either one of those two places and just connect with you and everything. All right, that's what's up, man. Leonard, again, thank you for coming out.
Thanks for having me.
And this is your man, Tuck from BOREDinDE. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up. As you know, new episodes drop every Thursday. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Everything's at BOREDinDE. If you haven't been to the site, check it out. It's www.boredinde.com. And until next time, peace.